In the metals quadrant today, taking a look at the December copper futures contract, which had a nice little rebound. Copper bounced after a 2-day sell-off from about 14-day highs. Copper had fallen almost as much as about 2.25% in the last 2 days, but then rebounded today on the high side. We were almost up 0.2% at 4.3055 on the high. Finished just below that, only a few basis points, about 4.3040. Downside down about the same, a little bit more than 0.5% at 4.2520. Now there was a little bit of a bump up in spot demand today, and the futures followed as they should. Copper futures follow spot prices very, very closely. And with the weaker dollar, we saw a little bit of extra spot demand. Could have been some catch-up buying, could have been people taking in inventory for future needs. It wasn't big, but it was big enough to rebound copper from what we saw yesterday to today. That rebound isn't really any sort of technical breakout to the upside, just seemed to be reflective of what we saw in spot demand. Although tonight we will get Chinese Caixin PMI indexes, which could definitely move copper if they're stronger than expected. China is one of the major economies, including the US and the Eurozone, as well as Japan, that have all fallen below that negative surprise line on the Goldman Sachs Economic Surprise Index. So that means a lot of their data has been weaker as of late. China, of course, the biggest consumer of copper, biggest smelter of copper. Also, some of that spot demand could have been on the weaker dollar. Third consecutive session lower for the dollar. Dollar's now down 8 of the last 10 sessions. And this is broadly lower. The euro is up 9 of the last 10 sessions against the dollar. The pound is up 7 of the last 10 sessions against the dollar. Similar things in the Aussie, the Canadian, as well as the New Zealand dollar, although the Canadian has been much more crude oil focused lately. But the yen is more mixed. The yen's only been up 5 of the last 14 sessions against the US dollar, and that has more to do with the runoff of the flight to safety trade. But the broadly weaker dollar has been bullish for commodities, all else equal. And today we didn't really have a lot else going on, so it helped to give a little bit of a tailwind to copper.